Welcome to Sunday Scaries Student Edition, a special Sunday Scaries series for teens and students, presented by Spotify and Headspace. I'm Dora, a meditation teacher at Headspace.
And I'm Gael, creator and host of the podcast Teenager Therapy.
Gael and I will be chatting about a few different topics during this series, and in each episode, I'll provide a meditation based on our conversation that can hopefully provide you with some mindful tools to get you through the rest of your week.
She's really good at this.
Thanks, Gael. So, how are things with you? What's on your mind this week?
Oh, well, I'm doing good. I've been thinking a lot recently about routines and what role they have in my life. Specifically, when I break my routine, what feelings does that invoke in me? And then when I do follow it, how do I feel?
Ooh, this is a juicy topic. I love my morning and nighttime routine. But again, as you said, what comes up when I have to break my routine? And sometimes I can be really hard on myself. So I'm excited to dive into this topic.
So why do you think that having a self-care routine is so important for your mental health?
Yeah, there's that saying, right? You can't pour from an empty cup. And so being able to take care of yourself mentally, physically, spiritually, socially, it's so important to be able to refill your cup and to nourish yourself. I think we can pour a lot into others and into our environments, and sometimes we forget about ourselves.
Yeah, that's really important. I think routine is one of the biggest forms of self-care that one can give
Yeah,
ourselves. I mean, it reduces so much anxiety, so much of the unknown,
yeah,
and it allows us to figure out what we enjoy,
yeah.
and it gives us that space to actually do it. So, Dora, you seem so put together to me. What exactly is your self-care routine?
Wake up at 5 and meditate, journal, and then I'll go to the gym, and then I'll come home and my breakfast is I'm really into overnight oats right now. So
Oh,
that's my that's
yeah,
my jam.
yeah.
And then yeah, I'll start my day 7 a.m. to 3 p.m. is optimal work time.
Hmm.
After 3 p.m., don't ask me for nothing.
Yeah, right? It's like I can't do the big
I
tasks.
can't do anything. And then yeah, I start getting ready for bed at 8:30.
Hmm.
Same thing, meditate, journal, read a book. And I've been trying to have my screens off early as well because I noticed
Hmm.
that affects my dreams. Yeah, sleep is also a really big thing for me. I'll turn on my red lights
Yeah.
and yeah.
That is waking up and sleeping early. Have you always been like that when you were high school you were waking up at 5 as well and going to sleep at 9:30?
Well, I didn't have to wake up at 5, but I wake up at 6 or 7.
Okay.
I used to plan out my mornings and nights. So I had routines when I was 14, and it would be by every 5 minutes. So I'd be okay, 8 a.m., I wake up, and then I brush my teeth, do my hair, eat my breakfast. I had all of this written and it was on a paper in my room. And I remember one weekend my mom went away and I invited all my friends to my house before we went to a party. And my friends were in my room, looking for clothes. And then my one friend was like, Dora, what is this? And I was like, oh my God, I've been exposed. And they were like, this is so cute. My one friend had her digital camera because that's what we used back then. And she's taking pictures and she put it on Facebook and all this stuff. And I was like, I'm mortified. I was so embarrassed. Back then, I just was ugh, no one's gonna like me.
You're so organized. You're
Yeah,
such a nerd. It's so, oh my gosh,
right?
I bet. Yeah.
And now I'm damn, I need this to be a normal functioning human
You were ahead
being,
of the game.
you know? I
You really
was.
were.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's so funny you say that. I mean, I think I feel that a lot when I started getting a little older and some of my friends could drive. They would always say, let's go to the beach and go get donuts and stay up all night just driving around, hanging out and talking.
Yeah.
And on one hand, I was like, oh, that sounds so fun. But then on the other hand, it's I don't want to do it though. I want to go to sleep at 10:30
Yeah. Yeah.
and be
Yeah.
in bed. And I remember every time someone asked me if I wanted to go out and stay up all night and break my routine,
Yeah.
I always thought about what I could be doing. And I would remember, oh, I would have been at home right now. It would have been warm. I
Yeah.
would have been so comfortable. There was times when I did stay up really late, all night on Saturday and then go to sleep at 7, 8 a.m. And then
Yeah.
my schedule is messed up Sunday. And then from Sunday, I go to school on Monday and I
Yeah.
just feel terrible and filled with regret. So it was always tough balancing that with also having fun every once in a while.
Yeah, I think for me, the biggest thing was acceptance. I'm actually not in control. As much as I can try to schedule these things and put things in boxes and highlight them, it's I have no control over what's going to happen. And I can kind of prepare myself for that by expecting the unexpected. But at the same time, I'm anything can happen, and how okay can I be with that just to allow life to happen?
It's not realistic necessarily to have a super strict routine.
Yeah.
I noticed, especially being in high school, now in college, it's
Yeah.
people want to hang out later than you might have planned. And I
Yep.
know a big factor in feeling the pressure of breaking your routine for the sake of others is something that I struggle with a lot.
Mm. Yeah, and I think that that is what compassion is, like, recognizing these things happen and it's not the end of the world and I'm gonna be okay. I'm a human being that maybe is just enjoying being around my friends in this moment, and maybe this is what I need, and, being able to, yeah, honor yourself and affirm yourself in those moments as well, because sometimes we can be super hard on ourselves for breaking our routines. I know I can be, but, yeah, just connecting to that sense of compassion and knowing that everything is alright.
Yeah. Has there ever been a time that you really broke out of routine and it messed you up for a couple days?
Not even like I'll break it, but I notice I'll get resentful when I have people over, and so that takes me out of the present moment of, like, enjoying spending time
Mm.
with family members, and I'm like, "Oh," like, looking at my watch, like, "Hey, it's time to go." It's something that I'm working on, but I also just know the benefit that my routines have, right? And that's my mindfulness practices help me with that of, like, I know how I feel when things are balanced and I feel grounded, and I really don't like that feeling of being unprepared.
Mm.
So, it's a delicate balance of just
Wow.
like trying to enjoy life, but also staying connected to the things that keep me whole.
A lot of times that I do actually push myself to overcome these temporary feelings of discomfort that
Mm,
I notice I end up having a good time.
yeah,
So when that happens, there's always that positive spin of, okay, right now I feel really uncomfortable. I do want to go home. I wish I hadn't done this.
yeah,
But since I can't necessarily change it now,
yeah.
let's have a positive mindset and let's see what comes out of it. Because a lot of times it's good.
Yeah, and that's the power of staying in the present moment, right? It's like where you focus, that thing will grow. So if you're focusing on like, "Oh man, I wish I was at home. I don't want to be here." You're only going to see that one thing, but
Mm,
it's like you're missing out on this opportunity to connect and be present with your friends and family. And if there's anything I've learned in the last like 3 years, life is short, Like
hmm.
it may be the last time that you see that person or you're with that person. So I've been really trying to push myself to be more present and enjoy those moments and to break my routine once in a while.
It's like, you know what? If breaking my routine is the price I have to pay for a nice
Mm.
memory with you,
Yeah.
then so be it. That's what I'm going to do. It's a good trade off for
Yeah.
me sometimes. So, what has your journey been like? When did it really click that
Mhm.
you realize you really enjoy having that self care routine in your life?
Yeah, I definitely grew up in a single parent home. My mom is from Kenya, so from Africa. And, in our culture, and what I saw and what I observed is like taking care of yourself was almost selfish. And so I didn't really have that routine up until I was grade 9, grade 10, and it started to evolve and change. And I realized that I need to take care of myself. I'm seeing my mom do all these things for other people and putting herself on a back burner. And I'm like, I don't really like how that looks. I don't like how it feels. And I was on the receiving end of my mom being burnt out, right?
Mm-hmm.
So other people get this like good, helpful vibe from her. And then
Mm-hmm.
she comes home and then it's like I'm the one that's receiving the backlash and like the resentfulness of her not taking care of herself. So for me, I was like, I don't want to show up in this way, and I want to be able to serve people and serve people authentically. And so that's where I think my self care routine started to grow and evolve is like being in a home and a part of a culture where self care isn't prioritized and wanting different for myself. So, yeah, from there, I just started to play around. I'm like, what does my body need? What does my mind need? And just tending to those things.
Wow.
Yeah. What about you? How has your self care evolved and what maybe are you struggling with?
I feel like I only even gained consciousness a few years ago, but
Yeah.
I really figured out I love having a routine. I really
Mm,
enjoy the peacefulness that comes with it. I realized it really takes me out of being in my head. It organizes my thoughts a lot more.
mm,
And also it really allows me to practice establishing boundaries because
mm.
I realize I know what I want, which allows me to really place down a good boundary when needed.
Yeah. Self care is boundaries. Boundaries are self care. I think
Yeah.
we sometimes think it's just like this wall that we put up, but it's like
Mm.
I can only love me and love you if I have boundaries. I can only
Mhm.
show up for you and for myself if I have boundaries.
Yeah. Dora, what advice would you give to someone who wants to create a self care routine?
I think it's important to, be unapologetically you. Like, for me again, grade 9, I had this calendar of like things I need to do in my morning and night routine. And I was so afraid that someone would like find out that I had this calendar. And then it turns out in the end, it's like that kind of stuff is trending now. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Morning and nighttime routine. We're here talking about this stuff, but it's like you have to just feel so comfortable in who you are. And from there, you start to develop a really beautiful relationship with yourself.
If you're looking to maybe be a little bit more mindful
Mhm.
about what you need
Yeah.
and all the things that you require out of yourself and
Yeah.
out of others, take time to think, write
Mhm.
down some of your thoughts, put
Yeah.
them all down in a journal, and then realize which
Mm.
are a little less important, which you can sacrifice, and which you absolutely can't.
Yeah.
I think self care is all about establishing what's important to you,
Mm.
what is an absolute truth, and what can be adjusted as needed.
Yeah, I love that. And I think what's coming to mind for me also is in setting intentions. Like sometimes we can turn self care into like a chore where it's like, oh,
Mm.
well, I have to take a bubble bath now. And it can seem really daunting. And it's like, I don't want to do this thing. But, being able to identify your intention, like what's your why? What's your motivation? And for me, one practice I like to do is like, how do I want to feel at the end of this week? If it's Sunday night or Monday morning and I want to be balanced by Friday, and look back and be like, this week was great and I feel grounded and I'm at ease. Like, how can I work towards that feeling? And from there, I'll start to create a routine of like, okay, so during the week, maybe I'll use my phone less or I'll check in with friends or I'll journal more. But identifying how you want to feel and writing down the steps it will take for you to get there and to maintain that feeling.
Yeah.
So let's do that practice right now of setting the intention and just tuning into how it is that you would like to feel and maybe just reflecting on a few of the things that you'll have to do to get there. So, wherever you are, just take a moment to get comfortable. And your eyes can be open or closed for this practice. Or if you'd like, you can even just journal along. And then let's just take a few deep breaths. So, breathing in through the nose and out through the mouth. Breathing in, filling the body with air. Breathing out, letting everything go. And again, breathing in and breathing out. Just take a moment here just to check in with yourself. Maybe just noticing how you're feeling in this present moment. Letting go of any stories or judgment, of any expectations. Just giving permission for your full and whole self to be here in this moment, however it's showing up. I invite you now just to think of a feeling. And this feeling is what you would like to feel throughout the week. So maybe it is a sense of balance or peace, feeling organized. Allowing whatever feeling is there just to come to mind and body. And then reflecting on a few ways that you can achieve this feeling. What are a few small things that you can do each and every day to connect you to this feeling and maintain this feeling throughout the week? And also just knowing that it's okay. Things happen. And it's all right if things work out in a different way. And then let's just take a deep breath here, breathing in through the nose Breathing out through the mouth. One last time, breathing in that sense of intention and purpose. Breathing it out through the mouth, letting it go. And then just connecting to your body and those different points of contact with the chair or the floor beneath you. Maybe wiggling your hands and wiggling your toes. Whenever you're ready, in your own time, slowly and gently opening your eyes. And just taking a moment here just to reflect on the feeling that came up for you in this practice. If you have a pen and paper nearby, just write it down and keep it somewhere where it's visible and where you can return to, and it can serve you as a reminder throughout the week. How are you feeling, Gael?
A little bit more at peace.
Good. So, Gael, we talked about a lot of different things and how people can start to create their routines. You shared about being able to define your values, starting your week off by identifying the 3 things that you can tackle. May not be able to do everything, but it's also helpful to cultivate compassion and be kind when things do go a bit astray. I had just shared as well about intention. So being able to be aware of what your intention is for this week ahead, and you can do that by identifying the feeling. How do you want to feel? And I think that's really important because it allows us to also set boundaries, like what you had shared about. Did I miss anything? Do you have anything else before we sign off?
No, I think it's for all the young people out there, be patient with yourself. It's important to have compassion and be kind to yourself. That's really the ultimate form of self-care.
And listeners, thank you so much for checking in with yourself today. Gael and I will see you here next week, where we'll talk all about the struggle of finding your passion. If you're looking for a way to create a self-care routine or just want to learn how to take better care of your mental health, I highly suggest checking out the Basics course in the Headspace app, where we walk you through how to practice meditation and also how to learn the fundamental practices of your meditation practice. Thank you so much again, Gael, for joining me and sharing so much of your wisdom.
Dora, thanks for having me.
Of course, and we'll see you all back here next week.